I mean, there are a lot of different programs. There are also holiday programs. There are programs like FEMA. At VNA Community Services, through the federal money, the FEMA program, we were able to use that money to purchase food store gift cards.
Okay.
And so we gave out in 2009 $13,000 in $75 gift cards. And so people in the community, again, could go to the grocery store and make the purchases for their food items.
Great, great. So back to pantries and cupboards, if people were to show up at one of the food centers, they can also talk with somebody, find out about, you know, I need these things today, but how am I going to manage next week? And somebody might refer them for services as well?
Right. CADCOM covers a number of the same programs that Angela was talking about. If somebody calls us to get a referral to a food pantry is typically a 3-day supply of food, right? And it's called an emergency supply of food. We would still be wanting to try and get people on food stamps if they're not getting it, whatever other programs they might be eligible for. When they go to the food cupboard, it's relatively easy. They just have to show their Montgomery County residence. The income limit is 185% of the federal income poverty guidelines, which I have here for a family of 4 would be about $35,280. That may go up a little bit next year, right, for the fiscal year. They go to the cupboard, they enroll, they sign a self-declaration of need form. They don't have to have a lot of proof of income or anything like that. If somebody has an emergency, we just want to make sure that the emergency is met. We want them to go to a food pantry near them. They can go once a month. If they have additional need, then we'll do it on a case-by-case basis, but generally it's once a month they're allowed to go. If they call CADCOM or they go to the website, we'll be able to refer them. We prefer they call because then we can work with them a bit more to know exactly where they need to go and what other services they may need. But it's fairly easygoing kind of situation. You know, we're not out to give anybody a hard time when they're hungry.
Right, right. Very good, very good. And we've been talking a little bit about people in crisis or people experiencing this need for the first time. But in terms of food security, there are people whose incomes are really pretty limited, and they're constantly in this state of needing some supports, at least for maybe some period of their life, you know, for 6 months or a year. How do these services help people become more self-sufficient or, you know, help build capacity? I don't know if both of you might want to respond.
I mean, the important thing with these services are that they help the people in our community stay healthy. If you have children going to school that aren't eating, obviously they're not going to be able to learn as well. You know, it's a compromise to the immune system. Same thing for our working adults. If you haven't eaten, then, you know, your energy is just sapped during the day. So the importance of these programs, they help the people in our community, the children continue to go to school, the parents continue to do the activities that they need to do, because if that's not the case, you know, children become sick, adults become sick. If a child is at home, they're not able to learn, they're not in school. If a child is at home, a parent is at home too. And so then, again, they're limiting their usual daily activities. So in strengthening people in our community by having access to these different food programs, it is a longer term commitment so that, again, they're not falling into this situation of not being able to go out into the community.
Okay.
Yeah, and the ability of people to move out is really the key here, because sometimes people think that perhaps the social programs are too rich, you know, that people are getting too much and they really need to be just given a subsistence level, and that's not true. The further you fall down, the harder it is to get out. And so if we can catch people before they get to that level where it becomes very difficult to get out, then they transition quickly back into being self-sufficient.
That's wonderful. That's a good place for us to take a break, I think, and I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're back. We want to